Do these glasses look official enough? Hi, my name is Mtlajo, and I'm going to be teaching you financial things. Nice to meet you too. Hello to beautiful humans, and welcome back to the channel. As promised in my last video, welcome to Mo's Money Mondays, where we are going to be talking about everything money and everything financial literacy. So all of us, well, most of us, interact with the financial sector almost every day in our lives. If you have a bank account, if you have a retirement fund, if you have medical aid, if you have credit, if you have an investment, if you have money of some sort, you interact with the financial sector. Now, the financial sector is a very big part of our lives, and it's a very big part of the economy, and as such, it needs to be regulated, right? So the purpose of the financial sector being regulated is mainly to protect the consumer, to create financial stability, to mitigate the risk of a financial crisis in the economy, and to make sure that the financial institutions are stable enough and solvent enough to meet their obligations to the consumer, right? So as such, we are going to be talking about the regulatory system of the South African financial market, and I'm going to try and keep it very simple. So South Africa very recently moved, 2016, 2017, moved to a Twin Peaks regulatory system. So think about, like Lord of the Rings, if you have seen it, like where they have like the two towers and that Eye of Sauron. Think of that as those two peaks, and the Eye of Sauron as the financial sector. So on the one side of the regulatory system is the Prudential regulator, and you have the market conduct regulator. Right. So Twin Peaks consists of the Prudential Authority. So now that's the one side. The Prudential Authority is mainly the South African Reserve Bank, and the purpose of the Prudential Authority is one, to promote and enhance the safety and soundness of the financial institutions. So basically meaning to make sure that the financial institutions have enough money to keep them running. Now just imagine a bank doesn't have enough money enough cash in its coffers, right? And it has all these assets and whatnot. But if a company decides to claim their 20 million balance sheet, and a bank doesn't have that money, now the company crashes because the bank can't pay them, and now the company can't pay their creditors, and they can't pay their employees, and now everyone suffers because the bank didn't have the money to begin with. So the Prudential Authority makes sure that everyone has enough money to keep things going, so that they don't create that ripple effect in the economy. Number two, they promote and enhance the safety and soundness of the market infrastructure. So they make sure that the market infrastructure, so like our financial markets, the JSE, all of that they are safe enough to be able to interact with other global markets, right? So basically what you need to know about the Prudential Authority is that they make sure that the financial institutions have enough money and are safe enough to perform what they set out to do. Now, on a day-to-day basis, the regular person will not interact with the Prudential Authority. The Prudential Authority operates in the background, make sure everything is okay, so that when you walk into a bank, you don't have to worry if the bank has enough money, right? But what you will come across and what affects the regular man is the market regulator. And this is the other peak. So our market regulator is the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, which for short is the FSCA, or as I like to call it, FSCA. So FSCA, or the FSCA, is there to make sure that your financial services provider have the fit and proper requirements that is qualifications, all the tests, all the exams that they need to have to be qualified to give you the proper financial services. They make sure that financial services providers follow a certain set of ethics and regulations, and they are there to make sure that you as the customer are put first, so you are treated fairly, and that when conducting business, the financial services provider puts you first instead of just signing business for themselves. Right. I'm going to make an example, a practical example with myself. So how the FSCA would affect me as a financial planner, right? At the beginning of the year, I was a financial planner, right? And to be a financial planner, the company that I work for, so I become a representative of the company that I work for. So the company I work for has to register me as their representative with the FSCA. And then the FSCA requires that I do a class of business training, and I have the certificates to prove that. I write an RE5 exam, which is for representatives, and I must be under supervision for a certain amount of time for the specific products that I'm going to be giving advice on. Okay, and then the company has to put me on their list of representatives, and they have to make sure that they have indemnity insurance. Now, what that means is that if ever I make the error of giving someone incorrect advice and you get disadvantaged, you can claim against the company. Yeah, the company will deal with me in the background, but you can claim from the company for any losses that you incur. Right? So I had all those, and then I became a financial planner. And then now I get sick, and then I change roles. I move into administration, right? This is a non-advice giving role. So now the company has to remove me from their list of representatives. So they go to the FSCA and they're like, FSCA, please remove so and so from our list of representatives. This person is no longer giving advice, right? The FSCA doesn't recognize me as a rep anymore. That means that even though I still have the qualifications and I still have the papers, I am not duly registered to give anyone advice, right? So I can have all the qualifications I can think of, but if I'm not registered with the FSCA, I am not qualified to give anyone advice. So when you watch any YouTube videos about financial advice and blah, 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 and the one person I can think of is Nicolette Mashile. Every time she starts a video, she says, I'm not a registered advisor, and if you need advice, go to someone who's registered with the FSCA. That just means that that person follows a set of ethics. They are duly qualified, and they have been under supervision, and they have indemnity insurance. So you can go to someone who is qualified, but they're not registered with the FSCA, and you can probably get them arrested, or you can claim from them if they give you wrong advice, or you get scammed by them of some sort. But if they don't have the indemnity insurance and they don't have money, yeah, they'll go to jail, but you'll never be able to claim your money back because they didn't have the indemnity insurance, right? So the Market Conduct Authority is there to protect the consumer by making sure that everyone who is giving advice or who is giving you any type of financial service is duly qualified. So please, 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 when you are looking for any financial service, make sure that the person you deal with or the company you deal with is FSCA registered and all of that. Now, the example that I gave here was specifically for financial advisors or financial planners, but every FSP has a set of rules that they have to follow when they register with the FSCA for the type of business and service that they are qualified to give. So I'll be back next week speaking about another part of the regulation system, which is FICA. Now, if you've ever wondered why when you go to banks or you apply for anything financial service related and they want your ID, they want your proof of residence, they want this and they want that, this has to do with FICA. And next week I will be explaining everything FICA related. And if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. Please tell your friends to come back and watch these videos, and I hope you learned something. In the meantime, love, light, and blessings to you all. Mwah.